Well, I mean, it's something that was of interest to me in terms of, I knew the brand name Dior. This is back in '97, but I didn't know anything about his life. And there are a couple aspects to it. One is that the brand names have been around us for the majority of our lives, or for all of our lives, whether we're aware of them or not, and that they represent people. And to understand the people behind these brands and the extraordinary circumstances in which they lived, which they were Dior, Chanel, Balenciaga, Balmain, Givenchy, all contemporaries. And so to really explore that was something that felt deeply personal in ways of artistry leading the way of survival. And as someone who responds to other people's creations and also creates himself, it felt like, what is it about these people in this specific time that led to this true creative explosion that has changed the course of history since that time period?
Well, I wish we had the control to actually control the timing, but given that it's come out at this moment in time, I think, look, fashion is more powerful today, I think, than anything else. Than in its whole time. It is permeated everything. And so I think as a time period, we have a relationship with fashion as our own culture without necessarily understanding why. So I think this is a great moment to bring this thing forward so that you begin to look at, as we did, as we began to read about it, you began to look at the brand in a different way. It stopped being a brand. It started being a personal expression. So I think that's going to be really great for people, is that transition for them. And this is a time period where we're in a time period between COVID and all the political turmoil we're all experiencing, and war in different places, that it's a very challenging time period for people. And so I think that people are going to relate to that.
And part of the COVID idea is that the world was unified in an experience in World War II. It impacted nearly everyone who was alive on the planet at that time. COVID, unfortunately, had a similar experience. There was no one actively trying to kill you, but we were all put in contact with our mortality. And so that happened while we were developing the series. But the idea that now one could draw parallels to World War II and everyone being affected and decisions that people made and COVID is something that I think there's a lot of resonance for an audience to experience. Well, it's extraordinary. In certain ways, I feel like Lorenzo was the one who brought John into this series because they had a previous relationship on several movies that they had done together. So it was Lorenzo who first brought John up as a suggestion, and I'll let Lorenzo continue to answer the question.
Well, I think what is extraordinary about John, period, is that he is really one of the great actors of our time. But also, I knew that John had a fashion line. And I also knew how much he cared about the fashion line, because I knew he was losing money every year. And it amused me a bit when I would have these conversations with him. It was like, why do you keep doing it? He said, because I have to. I have to express this. And so, in a way, he was the ideal actor to bring into a show about creation.